Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new series I am calling, they're all new series because I'm only just restarted my YouTube channel. Anyway, this is a new series. It's called Genealogy With Me. So, I watch a lot of YouTube, like a lot, an embarrassing amount of YouTube. I like watching clean with me videos whilst I'm cleaning my house because it kind of helps me to not get distracted if someone else is cleaning in the room with me. I don't know, it makes sense in my head. I watch study with me kind of videos to help me focus to do my own work. Yeah, I'm a big fan, basically, of any kind of with me YouTube videos. And it occurred to me nobody's doing like a genealogy themed one. Now, maybe there's a reason for that, but I don't know. I thought it would be helpful for you to kind of see behind the scenes of how I actually do my genealogy work, and also how I do my DNA work. So DNA, there's also going to be a series DNA with me. And that you will see, if you subscribe, keep an eye on the channel, you'll see that one separately. So, there may be times when they cross over a little bit, but I'm going to try and, for the most part, for them not to. But where there are links, I'll explain in those videos. So, what I'm going to do, there's a few things that I've got planned for this particular series, but the main project that I want to kind of take you along with me for is verifying my own family tree. Now, if you come across my family tree on Ancestry, which, by the way, that's the only place my family tree is. There may be older versions of it, less complete versions of it on other sites like Family Search, MyHeritage. I periodically export it and put it on family tree software. I use, I don't even know because I don't look at it that often, Family Tree Maker. There you go, Family Tree Maker. So I always have a backup, but 99% of my work is in Ancestry. Mainly because Ancestry make it really easy. I can have 1,000,001 trees, and if I'm doing DNA research, I need that tree to be in Ancestry because 99% of my clients use Ancestry DNA testing, and it needs to be linked to the tree, generally speaking, for me to do the best work for them. I'm also pretty lazy, and so that's the other reason all my trees are in Ancestry, because it just works for me. I don't have to think, even though it can be really buggy, I don't have to think too hard about how to use other sites, because I can pretty much use Ancestry on autopilot, except when they change things or release new features, and then my brain breaks a little bit inside and I die a little bit inside as well. Anyway, it's telling you way too much about me. So, where was I going? So my family tree on Ancestry is a bit of a mess. It's literally the family tree I started whenever I first joined Ancestry, which I think was around the year 2000. So it's that tree. So that way predates me becoming a professional genealogist, and to be honest, it's probably the worst advert for a professional genealogist, because I periodically go through and try and verify and make sure all the information is there and that it's correct, but I get distracted quite easily. So what I want to do is actually do a tree verification project for my own tree. And I've decided to do it on my maternal side of my tree, mainly because that's had the least focus compared to my paternal side, which has had a lot of work. That's where the bulk of my DNA matches are. And that's the side that I always knew the most about growing up. I don't have that really for my maternal side. So what I've done is I've created a brand new family tree in Ancestry just for my maternal side, to keep a little bit of privacy. I've hidden my mum's name, and I haven't included my grandparents' names, but I've included my great-grandparents' names. So whilst, wouldn't be that hard for you to figure out who, the actual names of my grandparents, that's not really the point of this exercise. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, what I've attempted to do here is filled out the information that I was told by my mother and by my aunt. So this would have been all the information that I knew when I first started investigating the family tree. So I didn't know names and dates. I had I didn't know places, is what I meant to say, places and dates. There was a story that Mary Comer was Irish, that she was quite a bit younger than Albert. I actually did know when Frank died, because he died in Egypt. I knew Elizabeth outlived her husband by quite some years, but that's kind of all I have. So I'm gonna start by going into my great-grandfather Albert. Now, because I haven't put any information in for him, it's not giving me a hint kind of clue. If I click into hints, it's saying there aren't any hints available. So I'm gonna need more, right? So, and this actually is what I do for every case. Some people can be a bit snobby about not using the hints. I use the hints because, work smarter, not harder. I mean, make sure you're doing the right hints, but yeah, work smarter. Now, immediately that I click on him, it's showing me a family tree, right? But this is where I will get a bit sniffy, because I'm doing a verification project, so I need to be sure that I have the right records. So, this is not telling me very much, so I think I'm going to try and find a marriage record, because I know who he married. So over here in the left-hand bar, but that's interesting. It only wants to give me death records. Not sure why that would be. Maybe if let's take out some of these things here. It's because I'm in Scotland. Okay, I can even see that. Okay, let's change that. There we go. See, sometimes I do silly things, although I don't know why it was stuck on Scotland. Right, okay, so now where I want to be. I can see the record that I want right at the top, but I'm going to just click in. Let me think. My grandfather was born... I think my grandfather was born in 1915. If I wasn't too sure, I might look at both the 1916 and the 1837 records. But because I know that... Sorry, I'm pretending, by the way, that I can't see this, in case you're wondering why I'm not just clicking on it, because I want to get to the right set of records. Because you won't always get the obvious record at the top. So I would click into the period that I think the marriage would have taken place. And yeah, if it's on that kind of 1915, 1916, I'm not sure. I would just look in both categories. Okay, so these are all the first 1 to 20 of the Albert Riles who got married. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that for the moment at least, you can't search with the maiden name of the spouse on Ancestry. But you can do that at Find My Past. So I am going to, actually we'll do advanced search. So I'm going to put in Albert Ryle. I don't know when, but actually first of all I want to get to the right record set, so I'm going to go to civil marriage and divorce, and you see now it's going to give me an option to put in the spouse's name, so I'm just going to type in Coma here. There's literally only one. It is in Liverpool. I know this is my guy. Now if I tried to click on the record, oh, that's interesting. I don't have a Find My Past subscription right now, so I don't think it should be showing me that. I don't know, maybe records are free this weekend or something. I don't know, maybe that one's always free. But yeah, usually I wouldn't click into the record in Find My Past unless I've got a subscription for that month. I tend to do Find My Past as and when I need it for professional research. I don't get an annual subscription just because I have Ancestry. But you can do all the searching for free, so I highly recommend, if you need to do that kind of search where you want to look at a maiden name, you can use Find My Past for that. So, and if I now click on that, it does give me names, but they weren't searchable before, so it would tell me a range of people. But you know, when I had 113 records to potentially look through in that all results, you know, just because that top one looks right, and yes, I could have hovered over it, you know, I kind of want to be sure there's not another Ryle marrying a Coma, right? So, but I'm now happy this is the right record, and I'm going to save it to my brand new verification tree. So I now know he's an Albert E. Ryle, which I didn't know before. There we go. So he's now in. And what I'm also now going to do, you'll see I have this separate spreadsheet. And this is a spreadsheet that I designed. I think it was based on another one originally. And it's my way of keeping track that I have found, or at least looked for, all the records that allow me to verify a person's family tree. So, okay, now you'll see, let's just make this bold actually, a bit more readable on a small YouTube screen. You'll see there's a different column for every single kind of source record or other records that there could be. I'm going to hide the top three because I'm not doing any work on those. So starting with my mother's grandparents, my great-grandparents. So you can see that one line is blacked out on each. That's because marriage record, obviously you're only going to have one marriage record per couple for direct line tracing. And just out of habit, I always put that under the bride's, the mother's entry. So in here, I would just say index record found. Now, what I could do for true verification at this point is get hold of that marriage record, which I've actually have got it in my filing cabinet next to me. I will need to dig it out. So even if I can't find any more information about him, I am now getting some hints. Oh, somebody's even uploaded it, so we can actually look at the certificate. Yeah, it's still not telling me it's got hints there, but we clearly do. Wow, there's a lot. Okay, so I don't really have anything else about him at the moment. I think because he got married in 1913, I know he had his child in 1915. at this stage, I would want to try and find him probably on the kind of 1939 register, 1921 census, 1911 census. So again, I'm going to flip back to Find My Past, because Find My Past is the only site that has the 1921 census at the moment. I don't know his year of birth. He is probably going to be around Cheshire. Looks like we're going to have to do an advanced search, so I'm going to say Cheshire again. Fun fact, I haven't actually searched for him yet on this, so could be anywhere. So all I'm going to do is slide that slider right out to look at all the possibilities. Okay. Right, so we've got 15. We can instantly rule out those. Probably going to be this one. There is a Mary at the address, there's an Annie, and there's 5 others. Okay. I actually don't want to buy that yet, because I kind of want to be sure. And in any case, I don't want the transcript. I want the actual image. So I'm just going to leave that as it is for the moment. And I just want to see if we've got hints. That's me. Hi. I'm also just going to get rid of these picture hints because I'm not really bothered about that. I'm looking for, 1911 census. This is probably the one we want. So that says he's an insurance clerk, that he was born in Northwich and his mother was called Ellen. Okay, I'm going to come back to that because what I want to do, rather than dig out my copy of this certificate, I'm going to be very lazy and I'm going to look at this one that's been uploaded. Right, that's definitely the right record. So that gives me a bit of information I didn't know before. Okay, so can I, let's download a copy of that for the minute. Let's open that up. I'm just going to move that so I can see the details, and I'm going to add that information. So I'm going to amend this slightly. I'm going to put the actual date. So they got married on Christmas Eve. They got married on the 24th of December, 1913. And they got married at Liverpool Register Office. I'm going to put that in here. Click save, the record saves to her as well. Okay. Now there's some other bits of information I can add. So occupation. Say that on the 31st of December 1913 in Liverpool, he is working as a, what did it say, engineer's labourer. Okay, it tells me who his father is, so I can add that information. And I can also add that he had died before 24th of December 1913. Oh, that's interesting as well. There's an occupation for Samuel. Let's add that. We don't have a date, so yeah. Occupation according to son's marriage certificate. Ship carpenter. And yes, I can touch type. Freakishly fast, in fact. Freakishly fast. Okay. Wow, was that a brag? That was a bit of a brag, wasn't it? I don't know. It's sometimes helpful, I guess. Just in case it's helpful or there's some correlation, I'm also going to add where he was living on the 24th of December. And sometimes Ancestry does that, and yes, it's very annoying, but we just, we let it just back up, just press delete a couple of times, it should clear. So he is living at 58 Cranmer Street. Oops. Touch type freakishly fast, but I still make mistakes. Okay. If you wanted to at this point, you could do a little Google to see if that address still exists, or the street still exists, and yes, it does. So we can, even if we want to, and I do sometimes, well, obviously I'm doing it right now, I do sometimes take a look just to see what the houses are like, whether they're the same houses. Well, no, because that's clearly a new build block. Right there, those are all new. But if we look at this side a bit further down, are there new builds as well? I thought they might be older terrace, but no. So it doesn't look like, although obviously the street is still there, still has the same name, it doesn't look like the house that he would have lived in survives. So that's a shame, but it is what it is. Right, so that, I think we've taken, actually we may as well add in the information that we have from Mary at the same time. So, well, the other thing I didn't do was add an approximate age, which I should have done, but I did not. So her father is John, and again he was deceased before the 24th of December 1913. So we can add that information in. Looks like she actually had an occupation, which, I'll be honest, is kind of rare for me to see for females. So I like there is an occupation for her. So I'm gonna add it. Yes, I do also do stupid accents for no apparent reason. Yeah. And I guess we can add her address as well. It's the same address as her husband. But hey, no judgment from me. Oh, why did that was random? Wow. Wow. That was me just typing some date that was apparently just in my head. Okay, 58 Cranmer Street. Alright, so we have some information for these people. We'll add in that he was a cotton broker. You don't have to add in all this extra information, but I think it helps, especially if you come back to this research much later and you don't really remember looking at these records. Just having that kind of information about occupations can help you find the right people on census records. So, right. What I could, oh, hang on, what am I doing? King. Right, go back to Albert. So, So I'm going to ignore that because I've taken the information that I wanted and I've downloaded a copy. As I said, I've got a copy in a drawer. Right, so I'm now going to go back to these census records. So I can now see that there's an Albert Ryle in Willington in Cheshire, whose father was named Samuel, mother was named Ellen, there's a Nellie. That matches up with this record here. So although we don't have Samuel, because Samuel's presumably died by then, it looks like it's probably the right family. But I'm probably just going to flip to this so I can see Samuel. So where are they? Samuel. It says he's a joiner from Warminster in Wiltshire. Okay. Well, carpenter is a joiner, I guess. What about 1901? Joiner carpenter. Right, so I'm pretty sure this is the right person because there doesn't seem to be anyone else. It's not suggesting any other records to me. If I wanted to be absolutely certain, I could go and do a full search. So here I can go to census records and say I just want to look at the 1911 census. Okay, I'm 99% sure he's somewhere in Cheshire or Lancashire, so I'm going to put in Cheshire, and I'm going to say exact to county and adjacent counties because Cheshire and Lancashire are directly next to each other. So right, there aren't any other records there. This one is a completely different spelling. The middle name is James. That's the only potential one just because it says Birkenhead, Cheshire, which is across the water from Liverpool. This is another Cheshire one, again, Albert James. I could potentially look at that one, but I really don't think that's the guy. And actually, no, it can't be because we're looking for a father named Samuel, right? So, this is my person. So I'm going to attach this record to him. And I'm happy. Hello, I said I'm happy. Thank you. A bit slow, wasn't it? Okay, and although I don't need the siblings, I am going to add the siblings just because that can help as well with making sure that you have the right census records. And what I always do at this stage, if sometimes I forget, like if a transcription hasn't been transcribed properly, I'll change the spelling of the first name, and for the wife I will strip out the surname because I don't want it to accidentally show her married surname as her surname in her record. So there we go, that is in. I can get rid of that now, and I'm going to say we found the 1911 record. Now, because I'm sure that these are also for the right people, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not going to look for other records. I know these are the right records. And I'm just going to add in the information. Okay. So that was 1901 is in. Yep. Is that a new person? guess so. Okay. I can worry about that when I come to verify the siblings. So, which I probably won't show that bit because that will kind of give away information about my grandfather potentially. So I'll show you how we do that on probably further back records, just to be on the safe side. Right. Oh, okay. Cool. We have a baptism record for him. Yeah, see, Albert Edward. Oh, stop doing that. Samuel Ellen Ryle. Solvay Road? Northwich, Joiner. Okay, cool. I'm gonna add that. It's quite rare that I find baptism records for kind of post 1837 births. That's interesting. If I've seen that before, I don't recall seeing it, so I'm actually going to just pop that in here. Baptism record found. And that's going to be the right birth record, so I'm going to add that as well. And what I would do at this stage, once I found a birth record, is I will look for that same birth record at the General Register Office. So, why did I do that? So I'm looking for births in 19... No, what? No, Rachel. No. 1891. Oh, no. Albert. Right, so that's the only one. There's only one Albert Ryle born in 1891. Or there's only one Albert Edward Ryle, or Albert Ryle even, whose birth was registered in 1891. If there are other Albert Ryles who were born in 1891, apparently their births weren't registered, so let's assume he's the only one. But can you see the key bit of information that I didn't have before, that looking that same record up in the General Register Office gives me? It gives me the mother's maiden surname. So I can now go back to my tree and edit his mum's name to include that surname. So there you go. Right, I'm going to go ahead and collect all the other bits of information that I have and get him all finished up. Oh wow, okay, so this is really interesting. So this is definitely the right record. Can I get you to a sensible percentage? No, apparently not. Okay, so So I've just bought the 1921 record for Albert Weil and his wife Mary. And what's interesting, well, actually, firstly, it's interesting that no occupation is recorded. Albert, which I've only just noticed. That wasn't the thing that I was really interested in, but I've just noticed it. No, what's really interesting to me is that, whoa, what did my mouse just do? Okay, just calm down, Mr. Mouse. So you can see they've got two borders here, Thomas Comer and John Comer. And you might remember that his wife's name was Mary Comer. Yeah, so Thomas and John are Mary's two brothers. So obviously I knew that. I actually knew that from my auntie before I found, well, actually we thought they were called Edward and Tommy, the two brothers, but we always knew that Mary had two brothers. Yeah, Thomas and John. And I'm going off at a tangent a little bit with this, but actually, so Mary Comer, she was a bit of a mystery. And the only reason I was able to work out who she was through genealogy records was actually using DNA. Now that shouldn't have been the case because there were clear records for her, but the trouble is that the genealogy records that were available for her didn't match up with what the family story was about her. The family story was that she was basically stolen away from Ireland when she was 14 by Albert, and so she married underage. It turned out that whole story was completely false. We don't know where it came from. Mary was 18 when she married, and she was born in Liverpool. Admittedly, the Comer line is Irish, but I can't remember exactly the generation, but I think it was her grandfather who was the one who was born in Ireland. Might have been her great grandfather. We'll find out when we do this project. But yeah, so that's interesting to me. If I hadn't done DNA and I'd had to wait for the 1921 census to come out, that essentially would have enabled me to answer my own questions, seeing that they were living in the household with Albert and Mary. So that's really interesting. Right, I'm gonna carry on. Okay, so I'm going to speak up again. I thought I actually did have a full 3 subscription still, but it's obviously lapsed. But although they've blurred out the record behind, it is the right record and it's perfectly legible. So I can see Ryle. Obviously Albert is probably underneath this white box, and then it says Edward. And down here I can see 3 Crown Street, Liverpool. Now, I can't remember where I've seen that address, but I've definitely seen Crown Street, Liverpool. So I know this is the right guy. In any case, I would have known that because there only seems to be one. So I'm going to add that. I probably will get my Fold 3 subscription updated at some point, so I can grab any further details or look for further details about that, and I will just do a quick search in here. So the few, that could be him because it said Welsh. I think that is actually, well, okay, let me just flip back a minute. Can I see enough? Oh, it does say it. Okay, I just wanted to write those numbers down. So I've got 2, 8, 25508 and 255508 are his service numbers. So, search on Ancestry, go to military records. Is that what I just looked at? That number's different, but that one is the same. So I think this is right. And I've never actually got his military records. So that's something I should definitely look into, see what's available. That does not look like our guy. Yeah, this guy's not in the Welsh Regiment and he's in Kent. So that's going to be a different guy. Don't know why they're opening so big. Does that number match the earlier number? No, it does not. Okay. Oh, but this I think does. Albert Edward Ryle, 285508. I don't know a lot about military badges. So let's look it up. World War One silver badge. Yeah, I had a feeling that was it. It was pretty much the badge you got for serving. Not doing anything terribly naughty when you served. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with military records. I don't think I'm likely to find a probate record for him. Right, no, there's no probate record for him, which matches with what I have seen previously. So you can see that I have essentially got all the information for Albert that I need. I found out more information so I can add first sets of great-grandparents here. And I'm just going to go through and do the other individuals. Now you might wonder why I'm pausing on this particular record. It's because I can see that it's really the only possible record, right? But I can see that the birth registration information does not tally with what her birth date was as given on the 1939 register. So what I've done is I've saved this record for later. Now, because I'm verifying my past work, I do know this is the right record. I still don't know why Mary's birth date is completely wrong on the 1939 register. I can only presume it's because she didn't actually know her own birth date, but I don't know. But what I'm going to do, because this is a verification exercise, I want to dig out her birth certificate from my files and have a look at it and compare it all. So I'll probably save that as a job for when we start the next session of this. So that's as far as we're going to go with Mary for right now. And also, although this is probably her in the 1911 census, I'm not completely sure, so I'm just going to leave that for now as well. case you're wondering, yes, I do have to, navigate kitties when I'm doing my research because, they're detective kitties. They like to help. Isn't that right? Okay, so I'm going to stop there with the great-grandparents because, well, we've been doing this for quite some time now, number one, and also because I really do need to consult some of the records. So you can see I've updated my sheet here to say possible found, need to consult original, possible found, need to consult original, need to consult original. So I think I have all of these records in my files except the 2 death records. Actually, yeah, I don't think I have death records for Mary Comer or Albert Ryle. Maybe I do for Mary. I don't remember. I'll have to have a look. And now I have the consular record for Frank Tweedale, and you might find that interesting to see. It actually doesn't give as much information as normal English and Welsh death certificates. And Elizabeth Baker, I really don't recall what I have for her. Obviously, Elizabeth Baker is a very common name. So without double checking what information the record has about her father on the marriage record, I'm not confident to go ahead and say that all these census records that are linked are definitely her. Obviously, I have already done this on my main tree, but it was so long ago that I did it. And although I know that is the right record, this is a verification project as if I was doing this tree from scratch, knowing what I know now. So I'm going to check that record before I add any census records. So I hope you found that useful and interesting. Wow, interesting. Let me know in the comments what you do to verify your family tree research. And also let me know, I'm thinking about creating this template as a Google sheet and kind of offering it up for people who want to use it. So let me know also if you think that this table is something that you would find useful. Or what other resources you would find useful to help with your research. Let me know and I'll see what I can do. Until next time, bye bye.